Hello. So I think what I'm going to do is start a 30-day journey and talk about a different aspect of writing every day for a month. And throughout this process, if you're interested in writing a book and you'd like to send me some questions about any of the topics that I cover, I would be more than happy to address those and talk about my experience, what I went through. I probably learned everything the hard way. I started publishing my books back in 2013 when I don't know. I mean, it seemed like to me there weren't as many self-published books. In fact, I know there weren't. It just exploded in the last decade. So I think that rather than have you experience what I went through, I can help you through the process. And I would love to hear your ideas, hear where you get your inspiration, what you're struggling with, anything at all, and then you can put those to me and I can send out my advice to everybody and we can all learn together. So, today I want to talk about inspiration. Where do we get our inspiration? How do we work through all the ideas that we have in our head? Because as we think about what we want to write, it can just be like overwhelming. All of the different things we might want to say or different directions we might want to take the story. But the good thing is that there's inspiration. So, more than likely, if you're tuning in, it's because you already have an idea for a book or you have 20 ideas for books. So, let's talk about that and work from there. And I'll just share my own experience. So, my books, I was triggered by a story that I really liked, and I thought it was a myth, an old Welsh myth, ancient Welsh myth. And I liked the story so much, I thought, if I could put a little more depth into these characters, because myth is oftentimes just kind of puppet characters talking to each other to illustrate kind of a classic story arc, and they don't really go too deep into the characters. Anyway, that's what the thought was, and the more I thought about it, the more I thought that it could be turned into a good story. And then that story is turned into 5 stories, so it snowballed. But getting your inspiration can come from anywhere. I think I want to talk a bit more about how we organize what we're inspired about. And I have 2 ways that I do it, and you might want to try that. Let's say today, take some time and try out one of the two and maybe both and see if they fit for you. And the first is I like to get out a good old fashioned pen and a journal and just write every single idea that I have, all of it. Character ideas, scene ideas, maybe even scribble out pictures of how I want the map to look. I mean, it could be anything at all. Just get it all out there, and the act of doing that gets it out of your brain because it'll swirl in there and doesn't really seem to take much form if you just leave it up here. If you can get it out on paper, just sort of brainstorming, stream of consciousness, whatever, get it all out there, then you're going to start to see things that you wouldn't see if you just left it in there. The other thing that I like to do, and people might think you're crazy, and if you're self-conscious, you can put in earbuds and then people will think that you're talking to somebody on the phone. But I like to take a walk in nature somewhere that I like. I live in Salt Lake City and I love to walk up City Creek Canyon for an hour. And I like to talk out all of my ideas, and I'll say things like, okay, Johanna, what do we have? All right, we could have this happen and that happen. And something about the act of walking and talking sort of has this magic effect on thoughts, and it anchors them and tethers them, and they start to come together. Those two um, processes work really well for me. And if you haven't tried either one of those, try that. Like if you've just got so many ideas and you don't know where to start, that's a great place to start. And then when I come back tomorrow, we can talk about how we choose from those ideas and what kind of processes we can use to flesh them out and start to get something that starts to look like a book. So I hope you'll join me. I'm going to hopefully get some interaction. I think it'll be a lot more fun as a group. So send me your questions and ideas, and we'll take this journey together. Thank you.